Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you 3 casseroles that I've been keeping on rotation. 2 of these, some people would say they make these for holidays. I don't. I make them year-round. The first one is this delicious cheddar jalapeno Jiffy Cornbread Casserole. Very simple to make, very easy, and like I said, I make this all the time because it's that good. Here we go. Okay, to start, I'm going with 1 box of Jiffy corn muffin mix into a large bowl. I'm going to use my whisk and break apart all of these lumps. It does kind of come out clumpy, so you want to do that. Now I'm going to add 2 large eggs. And you can crack this in a bowl on the side, then add. I'm living on the edge here. Now I'm going to add a can of cream-style corn right into the bowl. Next, I'm going to add 1 stick of butter. This is a 1/2 cup of melted butter or 113 grams of unsalted butter going in. Now I'm going to add 8 ounces of sour cream. And I'm just going to scrape this container into the bowl. By the way, I recently made this Jiffy Cornbread Casserole when I made these stuffed cabbage rolls. I will link that full video in the description below, but a lot of you were just asking for the Jiffy Cornbread Casserole. So here we go, a casserole video. Okay, so I'm just going to combine this really well and just give it a good mix. Okay, that's mixed. So now I'm going to add some shredded cheddar cheese. In all, I used 6 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. Some goes into the mix along with these fresh jalapenos. And if you don't want to use jalapenos, you could use a mild canned chili if you prefer. And I did reserve some to put on the top. But here I'm just going to combine everything together. And sometimes I like to add cooked chopped bacon into the mix. That is also amazing. Or cooked crumbled pan sausage. It really is one of my favorite things. Okay, so this is combined and it's going into a buttered 8x12 baking dish. And I'm just going to scrape everything from the bowl into the baking dish. And you'll want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And actually, when I made this cornbread casserole recently, I made it to go alongside some stuffed cabbage rolls. And it was an amazing combination. Okay, so I'm going to spread this out evenly. And like I said, I did reserve the jalapenos and some extra shredded cheddar. And be sure to check the description below because I will be putting ingredients, measurements in the description. Okay, so now I'm going to top it with some shredded cheddar cheese. Sharp cheddar works for this. If you want extra pepper in this, use some pepper jack. Now I'm just going to add slices of the jalapeno. And this is going in a preheated oven. I'm going to bake this uncovered until it is cooked through. It's going to take around 45 minutes. And I do know that everyone's oven might be calibrated differently, especially if you live in a different part of the country. I live in a very humid, below sea level place, so cook time varies. Okay, so this is done. And in my oven, alongside some cabbage rolls, it took around 50 minutes. Okay, and now I'm going to serve. And this is just truly just one of my favorites. I serve this during the holiday season or just on a random Tuesday or Wednesday. It's so good. Okay. This alone is just so good. I could eat this as a meal. And this combo, I mean, this is comfort food, like a comfort food combination that you should try. It's so good. It has cooked through perfectly. Okay, for those of you that asked, here's my easy hash brown casserole recipe. Okay, I'm working with 32 ounces of thawed shredded potatoes or hash browns going into a large bowl. To that, I'm adding 1 can of condensed chicken soup. I'm also going to add some onion powder, maybe like a half teaspoon, some cracked black pepper. I'm also going to add 8 ounces of sour cream. Here I'm going to add 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. Give that a mix. I'm also going to add about a half teaspoon of seasoned salt blend. And I don't know why I didn't film this, but I also added a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Here I'm adding half of an 8-ounce block of shredded Colby Jack cheese. That's all I had. Use cheddar. Give that a mix. And now I'm going to put this in a buttered baking dish. Like a 9x13 works, but I'm using, I think this is a 12x8 or an 8x12. Here I'm just going to spread that out evenly and top it with the rest of that shredded cheese. In all, 8 ounces of cheese works for this. If you want it cheesier, add more cheese. Okay, so I'm going to sprinkle a little more of that seasoned salt. And this is going in a preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes or until it looks like this. Some people like to add 1 egg. I used to add 1 egg into my hash brown casserole, but it comes out a lot creamier without the egg. Okay, so my husband's going to help me remove this, and I want to show you how wonderful and bubbly and cheesy and crusty it gets on the edges. This is just hash brown casserole perfection. So I am going to dive in and serve some. I actually made this along with my holiday ham recipe in the slow cooker. That video is there somewhere. But yeah, one of my favorite combos. Sweet glazed slow cooked smoked ham and this cheesy, creamy, delicious hash brown casserole that's so easy to make. And this is just amazing. Be sure to follow me on my YouTube channel and subscribe for more easy recipes. This, you gotta try it. I'm making an amazing breakfast casserole. This breakfast casserole is fully loaded with deliciousness. This is gonna be good. Here we go. Okay, so breakfast casserole. I'm going to be using 1 pound of regular breakfast sausage, 8 large eggs, a cup of table cream or heavy cream, a can of Rotel. This is 10-ounce can. I'm gonna drain this can and this can of mild green chilies. I have 8 ounces of cheddar cheese that I'm gonna shred, and I'll be adding some seasoning and spices. Okay, so first you'll want to cook your sausage. In a preheated pan, I'm just gonna add this entire log of breakfast sausage. And you can get creative with the type of sausage you want to buy. If you want to do Italian sausage, spicy breakfast sausage, ground turkey breakfast sausage, and I even do seasoned ground beef with this casserole. It'll definitely work. Okay, so just break this apart and you'll want to cook and brown the meat. Okay, so this is done. So what I'm going to do now is just turn off the heat. And I'm going to set aside and allow it to cool while I combine and mix everything else for this casserole. In a bowl, I am going to add 8 large eggs. Now I'm just going to break them apart and mix well. To the eggs, I'm going to add 1 cup of this table cream. Like I said, 1 cup of heavy cream works for this. And I'm also going to add some spices and seasoning. Here I have smoked paprika, like a 1/4 teaspoon to a half teaspoon. I'm going to add like a 1/4 teaspoon to a half teaspoon of garlic powder. It's really up to you. And I'm going with some dehydrated minced onion, like a tablespoon, and some all-purpose seasoned salt, like a half teaspoon. Now, just give it a really good mix. Okay, I'm going to add half a cup of my shredded cheese. This is a sharp cheddar cheese that I grated or shredded. And now for the drained chilies. This is mild green chilies and a can of Rotel. And just combine that. And I did reserve cheese for the top. You'll want to do that. So whether you put half of the shredded cheese or maybe just like a half cup. Also, I'm going to add some black pepper into this, some cracked black pepper. I forgot. So a little bit of that is going in. And now I'm just going to combine and mix very well. In a baking dish, I'm going to add my mixture, but first I'm going to slather this in about 1.5 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm just going to make sure I butter the entire dish. I'm working with this oval baking dish, but an 8x12 baking dish or pan works. Okay, so now I'm going to add the breakfast sausage right into the mixture. It should be cooled enough to add and give it a mix. Once it's combined, I'm going to add it right into the buttered baking dish, and you'll want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit because this is going to bake for about, I'd say 45 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. Now, if you're cooking this in like a larger, flatter baking dish, then the cook time will vary. So I'm going in with the rest of that shredded cheddar cheese. Use the cheese that you prefer, by the way. Pepper jack is also a great addition to this, but I also think a good medium to sharp shredded cheese just really pairs well with this. And now, time to bake. Going into my preheated oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 to 50 minutes, or until it's done in the center. Okay, yeah. This is done. When I tell you, this smells amazing. Okay, so I'm going to let this set just for 5 to 10 minutes, just to make sure that when you cut into it, you kind of have these uniform pieces. But if you want to dig in now, I don't blame you because it's so good. For the garnishes, I'm using some hot sauce. Use your favorite one. Here I have some sour cream. I'm also going to garnish with some pickled jalapenos or nacho pickled jalapenos, so good, and some parsley. You could also do some scallions. Okay, so I'm going for the first piece. And the crust, the cheese crust is just, texturally, this is such a good casserole. So I'm going to plate this up and then garnish how you like. You can get very creative with the garnishes. It's up to you. I'm going to top it off with some of these pickled jalapenos. I've already added my sour cream and hot sauce, some of the parsley, and it's time to take the perfect bite. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.